For over 4 decades, today's guest has made television history with iconic roles like Bo Duke of Dukes of Hazzard, Jonathan Kent, he immortalized that role on Smallville. More recently, Tyler Perry is the Haves and Have-Nots, playing Jim Cryer. Man, he's not stopping anytime soon. He's recorded 21 albums with 4 #1 country Billboard hits. He co-founded with Marie Osmond the Children's Miracle Network, and he and his beautiful wife Alicia are a media power couple who have a brand new film coming out that you got to see. And as he puts it, it is Southern horse-powered comedy. Welcome to the show, John Schneider and Alicia. How you doing?
Hey, we're doing great. We are on the side of the road, as you can see. We're in our car. And we wanted to stop and talk to you. Yeah, we're on the way to Nashville.
Wow.
We're not at a hat store. We're just on the way to Nashville.
That's a nice hat you got there.
Well, we got it from Standard Hat Works in Waco, Texas.
Yep, Waco.
There you go. There you go. Well, hey, you're always on the move, John. Both you and Alicia, when I said power couple, I wasn't kidding. When you're not recording, when you're not mixing, when you're not shooting, when you're not editing, you're creating films and distributing them. And by the way, folks, we want you to know throughout this whole interview today that you need to download John's app. How do we do that, John?
It's simple. You go to the App Store, you put in my name, John Schneider, that's Schneider. And the app is free. It'll work on your Android. It'll work on your iPhone. It'll take you to the movie schedule. We show our movies at drive-ins. It'll take you to the concert schedule. It'll take you to the store. It'll take you to Cineflix, which is our streaming service.
And you can win the lottery ticket.
And we have a little scratch off thing there where you can win a hat or a ticket to a concert. It's a whole lot of fun. It's a great portal, right? It's a portal. It's a portal. So it's a great way to be able to watch the movies. And of course you can mirror your screen from your phone to your smart TV. You can even get the app on your smart TV. And we appreciate it because we don't distribute through Netflix. We don't play with people or have any desire to play with those with which we disagree.
Right.
Okay. We do not capitulate. We will not sleep with the enemy.
Wow.
Okay. So when somebody purchases anything from our store, we get a little ding on our phone. A little bell goes off. So every time a bell rings, a Schneider gets their dream.
So when a bell rings, a Schneider gets their dream. I love that, man.
Yes. One of these John, two right here.
Well, you know what, John? I mean, everything that you've done has always been so pro-America, pro-veteran, pro-law enforcement, and yet you're doing these huge roles with people who may or may not feel the same way that you do. But you know what? You've always retained that all-American thing, that element that people love. And I've been a fan, man. But this new movie, Poker Run, tell me about that.
Well, Poker Run is the sequel to Stand On It. Stand On It was a straight out tribute to Smokey and the Bandit. Burt Reynolds and Hal Needham are both very dear friends of mine toward the middle and ends of their lives. And we talked about this whole Southern horsepower comedy thing. Wow. And couldn't figure out why in the world it had stopped. Dukes of Hazzard stopped. There were no more Smokey and the Bandits. There were no more Cannonball Runs. But in the mid 70s to the mid 80s, for a solid decade, it was big screen gold. Wow. So we talked about bringing that back, and Burt actually said that the only person who cared enough and actually had the pedigree to do it was me.
Right.
So we decided to do that shortly after Burt passed away. We wanted to do this in memory of Burt, in memory of Hal. And Alicia always said, "Look, if we want to entertain people, all you have to do is get back in a car on a dirt road." And I'm a little slow.
That's true.
I'm a little slow, but she talked me into it, didn't she?
I told him, I said I could put him in any car as long as he's in the driver's seat, and we can make a movie.
Well, it's like they say, listen to the woman, John. Listen to the woman.
She was right. So what we did, this is really great, Brant. We put in Smokey and the Bandit, it was a Trans Am. And I love cars. I've been a car guy since way before Dukes. And Alicia loves cars. She's actually a crazier driver than I am. So rather than go back and get a 76, 77 Trans Am or do any of the Trans Am thing, I'm a Mopar guy because of Dukes of Hazzard.
Right.
So we got a hold of a 2016 Challenger did a whole treatment to it, kind of like what George Barris would have done. So it's got the gold pinstripes. It's got a redesigned Phoenix that Alicia designed. That's the bird on the front. And we took a Sawzall. Doesn't get much more redneck than this. We took a Sawzall and cut T-tops in the Challenger and gave birth to the new, most bad, wonderful, amazing muscle movie car you've ever seen. So I want you to watch Stand on It. And then I want you to watch Poker Run, because if you're a car guy or a car girl, I promise you, this is going to be your new favorite franchise.
Wow. Well, talk about a shot in the arm, John. You know, a lot of people have been missing the good, wholesome, fun, family-oriented television. And who else has done that? But what a better person to do it. I mean, there's no one I know alive that doesn't know about Dukes of Hazzard. And well, you know, and the rebel flag, of course, all the controversy about the flag and tearing down statues and, you know, on one hand, erasing our history, on the other hand, demanding that a leftist version of history is being taught.
We're watching them do that. You know, the Civil War was a day or two ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've just entirely changed what it was about.
Right.
They've entirely changed everyone's perspective of Lincoln, of Grant,
right,
of Lee, of Jefferson Davis.
Wow.
But imagine right now, as history is happening, they are changing what happened this morning.
Wow.
With their reporting, I have to say, investigative journalism.
No kidding.
So they are changing the narrative as it is happening. Case in point, Rittenhouse, you know, the jury is out right now. Rittenhouse, the jury is deliberating right now.
Yep. And they're dodging the mob.
On a case where clearly from my perspective, this was a case of self-defense.
Right. Right.
Now, the media will have you believe that this is a white supremacist, some racist individual that went there to hurt somebody.
Right.
It was shown in court there were no black people involved.
Exactly.
At all.
Exactly.
But they are saying that this young man killed a black man. No,
he didn't.
However, if you ask people on the street, if you said I bet you, if you polled 100 people on the street today and said, what color were the people that Rittenhouse shot? Don't even talk about self-defense. They will say they were black.
Oh, yeah.
Not true. Not true. So we have got to, as President Trump said, I loved it when he called them fake news. And then I loved it when he said, I have a new name, really fake news. We have got to call them for what they are.
Right.
They are nothing more than propagandists who are trying to destroy this country from its foundation, and its foundation being us.
That's right.
We cannot allow this country to be diminished through ignorance. Okay.
And laziness.
And well, ignorance and laziness are at least kissing cousins.
Well, you know, John, I love how you put it, because it's true. Journalism is dead. You know, journalism was just the facts, ma'am, just the facts, you know, who, what, when, where, why, sometimes how, but now it's turned into activism, and we've got to get back to journalism. And, you know, the media has divided our country with their narrative because of money, because it sells. And, you know, I used to tell people that the DNC owns the media, but you know what? The media owns the DNC. And, you know,
conglomerates own it all.
Right.
Well, and what happens is why they make so much money there. I don't want the people watching and listening to think it's because of the consumer. It's not. Right. The deals that are made where the money is made are made before the consumer is even involved.
Right. Yep.
Okay. These folks are pushing their agenda, which is a counter freedom agenda, counter Constitution agenda, counter United States of America agenda. And everybody knows that.
Communist
agenda. You know, everybody knows that. And consider this. We had an instance where a writer, producer, actor fired a gun and killed somebody, and is now trying to blame it on gun safety, saying that Hollywood needs more gun safety. No, you moron. No. We need you to know how to handle a firearm. That's what we need.
Exactly.
or not write about it if you're against the Second Amendment. Consider that. Alec Baldwin is against the Second Amendment. Alec Baldwin is against people owning firearms. He's against guns and bullets and gunpowder and everything, right? And yet, he writes a film that glorifies gun violence.
Go figure.
We're not going to do a movie that glorifies abortion.
Right.
And we're not going to do a propagandist movie that says you should get a vaccine if you don't want one.
Right.
Because that's what we believe.
Because personally, I wouldn't get the vaccine with Alec Baldwin's arm.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And yet, at the same time, we have a prosecutor as yesterday who picks up an AR-15
on the trigger.
On the trigger.
Yeah.
And points it at the jury.
What?
And no one
said anything.
No one on Fox, no one anywhere mentioned the Alec Baldwin case, because that's like 3 weeks ago and nobody's interested anymore.
It's
these two people you're looking at right now. We are going to do everything we can to make sure that justice is served in that case. And by justice, I tell you what, if the person that pulled the trigger and killed that young lady was a conservative, they would be under the jail.
Right.
It has to be liberty and justice for all.
Right.
Not for some.
Right.
So as recently as last night, we were in communication with the people who are in charge of the investigation in Santa Fe. Wow. And I'm not going to let this go, and neither is she.
Good. You know, John, you're a person of faith, both of you. And you know, we know, according to the Bible, that the prince of the air, media, is Satan. But we know the king of the air. And so people like you, people like me, who produce media, positive and true media, we are taking territory back from the prince of the air. You know what? I don't just want our territory back. I want all of his territory too. And I want to give it to the Father. But that's what we're dealing with. You know, I didn't plan on saying this, but I'll say this. You know, in Joplin, Missouri, I was traveling and I saw these beautiful houses as where I was going to go to Bible college, and everyone was gone trying to pay for it. And I swear to you, man, it's like God said, Brant, behold America, the land of unguarded castles, where the children are ravaged by the prince of the air, with the internet. This is 95, you know, and radio and television. But you know what? We are taking his territory and we're bringing it back, and we're bringing people together. We're being known for what we're for, not what we're against. And this ravenous animal mentality of everything vile, they have shown their true colors. But it's people like you, John. It's people like Alicia, people like me and others, that we're turning the tide, and we're creating media that speaks truth and life. And you know, even with a funny movie like Poker Run, you know, laughter is healing to the bones. But just what you two have always stood for, and what you both stand for, I'm excited to see what's on the horizon, because you're fighters, you're champions. You know, Alicia, you conquered cancer, from what I understand.
Stage 4.
Yes, she did.
Phase 4. I mean, you're a walking miracle. You're a walking miracle for such a time as this. And so it encourages me, John, to meet you both, you and Alicia. And we want to get behind everything that you're doing. Folks, be sure and go to the Apple Store and
go to the
app.
It's free.
It's free.
The app is free.
Okay.
And folks, listen, what we're talking about here is very, very important. Yes, we are taking back. Yes, we are. There's no shame in annihilation. We don't want to just win. We want to beat the ever-loving crap out of the enemy.
That's right.
And we can, but you have to do something.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't sit back and wait, because the hero you are waiting for is you.
That's right. That's right.
Okay?
That's a good word.
We must not continue, and I'm going to say continue again. We must not continue to be complacent in this battle.
Right.
The greatest thing that woke up every Christian and every patriot in this country happened when Biden and the team stole the election.
Right.
They stole the election just as people are riding into Walgreens in San Francisco and taking stuff off the shelves.
Right.
Just as they are looting and tearing up every great city in this wonderful country.
Right.
That's what they did. But it woke us up.
Yeah.
And I don't mean in their woke way. I hate it that they took our word.
Yeah.
It's a fake woke. They have awoken the sleeping giant. Shame on the giant for sleeping.
Right.
But get over it and move on. I'll say it again. The hero you are waiting for is you.
My dad was a hitman who came to Jesus.
Really?
Yeah. He came to Jesus and he died. It changed the course of my life. I became a piano prodigy. I've had an amazing life. I've lived out every dream I've ever had. And I've outlived him. I'm 52. I've outlived him. He was 30 years old. But you know, John, he would be very excited to see what you're doing and the fact that you're living for the Lord. And you know, there's something else too. I'll never forget a gentleman named Mario Murillo. He was saying, let your music, let your aspirations, let your projects be so good that they're irresistible to the world. And you know, you're a pro-America, pro-family, pro-faith, pro-veteran, pro-law enforcement, and yet the world still wants you to act in their series and their movies. And that just says so much. And so folks, get that John Schneider app right now. I'm going to get it and I'm going to buy from you. And I'm just so excited to meet you too. And I love what's going on. And I can't wait to see what's next. You know, I do have a movie idea for you too, since you're movie makers.
Yeah. All right.
Our Constitution is nothing more than sermon notes from outlaw preachers called the Black Robes. The King George wanted them to die. He said he called them the Black Robe Regiment because for 20 years before the Constitution was written, they were preaching truth, justice, liberty, freedom for all, no king but Christ. That was a revolutionary thing. And King George wanted them dead. He ordered a hit on them. And those the Black Robes, those outlaw preachers inspired John Adams. Okay.
Wow.
Inspired John Hancock. And in a way, the Black Robes have returned. We have awakened, and we are outlaw media producers. And so what a movie that would be, John. Hint,
that would be a great movie.
Hint, Alicia. But
I'm gonna research it. Hint, Alicia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna research that.
Yeah.
And we'll come up with something.
There you go.
I want you, because of your dad and you, I want you to, when you get the app, I want you to watch a movie called Like Sun.
Okay.
It's dark.
It's dark. There's a lot of, we did a lot of dark, but we do really good dark films.
It's not a family movie.
It's neither warm nor fuzzy.
Right.
But
it's real. Yeah.
It's real. It's about not being able to escape your blood. I think in a good, bad way in this movie. So check that out. I think you'll really like it.
I can't
folks,
wait.
If you want to laugh, you want to have a great time, you want to, as soon as the movie's over, you want to squeal your tires on a dirt road, then watch Poker Run. It comes out on Orange Friday. That's the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Orange Friday.
The other. It's Orange Friday.
Wow.
Yep.
Are you still involved with the Children's Miracle Network?
Yep, sure am.
You started that with Marie Osmond. Yeah.
Yep, we started that 40 years ago now. 40 years ago. It's been great. We've raised right at $8 billion with a B, $8 billion for kids.
And now we're dirt
track racing. Yep. We race cars. What? We race on a dirt track. And you can see some of that in Poker Run.
Yep.
Because Alicia actually doubles Mindy. Alicia is the stunt double for the female lead.
No way.
Poker Run. Yep.
No way.
She does it all.
But we're also building a new car. It's actually a new ribbon called the Driven Ribbon, and it represents all forms of cancer. And it's about getting in the driver's seat of your life.
Yep.
So not only for medical, you need to be in the driver's seat of your life for everything.
You know, my father passed away of cancer, and I have a lot of admiration for people who fight it and who conquer it, you know, because you're not defined by your struggle. You're not a cancer patient or my cancer. People will often claim what they're fighting. My diabetes, my cancer. Well, you know what, Alicia? It obviously wasn't your cancer because you fought it, you overcame it, and that's exciting to me too. So
I think that also deeming, one of the big things that I grew up Catholic and really didn't listen to the Lord's Prayer or feel the Lord's Prayer until I was diagnosed, and really deeming your body on earth as it is in heaven. And that's what I think we are right now in these times, that it's not just our personal physical body, but it's our body as a community. And that's what really has to happen on earth right now, is that we have to deem it as what God wants us up there has to be here, because the Prince of Darkness played a lot of music, and we're like we were talking earlier, is that our God is actually bigger than the Prince of Darkness.
Yep.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's not the prince of the air. He's the king of the air.
That's right.
And
king of the air.
We know how that battle ends, and we win, and we are victorious. And again, I'm just so honored, John and Alicia, to talk to you. Hopefully, first of many a times.
Absolutely.
We want to know everything that you're doing and keep up with it. I can't wait to buy your stuff and see your funny movie. And hey, who would have thought that the one who brings back Southern horsepower comedy is the one who helped change television history for the South? None other than John Schneider. And again, his wonderful wife and partner, Alicia. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. You have a fantastic day.
You as well.
And maybe there's one more story up there on the roof. Maybe you can go. Can you go up one more flight where the girders are in the
I'm
way?
thinking about it. I've been chasing the sun this whole interview, having such a good time, and
I love it. Hey,
go.
Is the big Texan still there now?
Oh, it is. You guys got to come and eat that 72-ounce steak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
John?
I tried once. Love the big Texan. Love the people there, and we'll have to go have lunch there next time we're driving to California. We don't fly anymore because we refuse to be treated like infected terrorists.
Right.
There's trains, there's boats, there's motorhomes,
There's horses.
there's trailers, there's campers, there's horseback and mule. You do not have to capitulate with those people up there who are trying to tell you what to do.
Well, John and Alicia, you said it right. Good word. Great couple. Incredible legacy and history. You're not stopping anytime soon. The timeless power couple. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Woman warrior, you were the target of that ancient serpent. You are the last and most beautiful of all creation, and that is why he hates you. It was through you that redemption was made possible. That day when the Creator entered into his own creation, the sinless seed, through the nurturing vessel, to birth the Redeemer. How confusing it must be to be led by leaders who despise you, use you, degrade you, and desire to kill you. But inside of you is a fire placed there by God himself, a fire that cannot be extinguished. You are his object of affection. The days have been written, the time has been set that only he knows. Trust in that, woman warrior. Be fearless in your resolve. Your enemy will never be like you. He may try to look like you, walk like you, talk like you, even attempt to take away your name. But he will never be God's object of affection. The serpent and his offspring will try as they will, but they will never be the last and most beautiful of all creation. They will never be a woman.
Deal with our busy lives, I found myself saying, okay, Lord, I want to be open to divine appointments. I don't want to be timid. I don't want to be lazy. If I'm in the grocery store and you kind of nudge my heart and I realize that there's someone I need to talk to, I'm just going to do that. And man, if you'll do that, God will honor it. He'll honor your obedience and your love for him, and your life will become this rich adventure it was always meant to be. So sometime when we spend more time together, Brant, I'll have to tell you a couple of divine appointment stories, because man, it's just been so cool. And in my flesh and in my busy life, sometimes I'm in a situation where I'll see someone and I know the Lord's saying, "Psst, you go tell that person that I know their names, I know their heart, I know their past, I know their needs, and I'm calling to them." And I'm going, "Oh Lord, I don't really want to do that. But wait a minute, but if you're calling me to do it, then that means you have probably orchestrated events in their lives to make their hearts open to hearing the gospel." And what's the worst that can happen? They give you the stink eye, and they tell you to take your fairy tale somewhere else. They're probably not going to punch you in the mouth. Sometimes even when I don't want to do that, I just go, "Randy, God is telling you to do that. And if you don't do it, you're going to be miserable all day because you missed the party. You missed the party." And man, so I'll jump in even when it feels like getting into cold water. And wonderful things happen because people need to know, people want to be heard. We're so lonely in this culture with all our technology and all the noise. We're still lonely and isolated because we desperately need connection with Jesus. They need to know that someone sees them and someone hears them. So when you take that time and even though it's kind of socially awkward and whatever, and you reach out, man, I've just seen wonderful things happen where some guy that I thought was just going to pull a switchblade on me, all of a sudden he puts his head down. He goes, "Thanks, man. I really needed to hear that." And then he'll start telling me his story, and you go, "Oh my goodness. If I had just been lazy or shy, I would have missed out on this." You go, "Wow, God's not only calling to that guy, he's shouting at him, and he let me be a part of the precious opportunity to impact the spiritual trajectory of someone's life for eternity and relationship with Jesus."
What is the word on the street? Real people, real stories. What the world is saying versus what he says. Watch the word on the street on GLC.